If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Hello, I'm Selim Noujaim. Thank you for this opportunity to come to your homes to talk to you about an issue that is extremely important to me, and hopefully it will be important to you as well. This is not a political show. It is simply a show of education, experience, and to some extent emotion, beautiful emotions, and lots of good memories. You may look at the set behind me and say, why is there a Lebanese flag here? Normally you will see behind me the American flag and the flag of the state of Connecticut. But now I have before me the Lebanese flag. Lebanon is a country that is near and dear to my heart. Obviously, I was born in Lebanon, I grew up in Lebanon, and when I emigrated to the United States of America, I was 22 years of age. So obviously, Lebanon plays a big part in my education, in my culture, and in my traditions. I came to Lebanon I came from Lebanon to the United States and went back again to visit 3 years later. But due to many circumstances, economical, political, family matters, I was unable to return to Lebanon for a period of 38 years. 38 years elapsed from the last time I went to Lebanon to the time that I visited again this year. I decided to take the plunge, and in July 13, 2012, I took a flight to Lebanon along with my daughter Rebecca, who has never been to Lebanon before nor have seen the country. We had a great time. It was a great opportunity. It was a trip of a lifetime. And basically what I am doing is I am just bringing to you my native country to your home, to show you a slideshow and a presentation of the sights, of the people, of the customs, of the traditions, what moves them, what shakes them, what makes them tick, what makes them so happy despite all of the wars and all of the problems that they encountered over the past several years. And as I show you the slide projections, I will explain to you what they are. And as I show you those slides, I'll explain to you the significance of each one of them and what it means to us, and hopefully what it will mean to you. I am hoping that this will be an educational program that you will enjoy and you will have a good time watching. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for sharing it with me, because I am loving to share it with you. It's important to me, it's very emotional to me, and I'm hoping it will be important to you as well. So thank you, and please enjoy this program, and at the end of the slide show I will come back and I'll give you a summary of what the country meant and means to its people. and what it meant to me and to my trip there. And I am hoping that you will appreciate it as much as I do. Thank you. Starting our trip, here is our aircraft, MEA, Middle East Airlines, which is the Lebanese national airlines. I wanted to make sure that we go on our national airlines. It was really beautiful. We had a great service. This was our trip from London to Beirut. Arriving in Beirut, we went to our hotel. And our hotel is in Jounieh on the bay, which is really beautiful. You'll be seeing the hotel in a few minutes, and then you'll be seeing some of the features in that hotel. The American influence is all over. Wherever you go in the world, you'll always find the American influence. I happen to see this in the hotel, which is in English, that says "Happiness lives here." It is a beautiful hotel, and it is the Portaluna Hotel, which is in Jounieh, right in going from Beirut toward the north. It is on the bay, and it is really beautiful. You'll be seeing the bay later on. But wherever you see in the hotel, you see Lebanese writing from Khalil Gibran, Khalil Gibran, and then you see also American writing from American poets. Also, the French influence is very important in Lebanon, because Lebanon was a mandate of France until she gained her independence in the 1940s. So the country is so civilized, it is unbelievable how civilized the country is. This is a picture from my hotel room. I should have gotten a little closer. You see the water. This is the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean Sea, it is very, very quiet, because what happened is Cyprus is right in front of Lebanon, and it cuts all of the big waves that are coming toward the shore. So the sea is very, very quiet and very nice. You cannot see any pollution in it. You can walk into the sea and you see how beautiful the sand is. It is really a very, very nice. The character of this hotel is, you look from one side and you see the beach, and you turn around to the hallway and you'll see a mountain right behind you that extends about 1,000 meters high, and there is the cable cars that go right on top of it to Our Lady of Lebanon, and to Hrisa it's called. It's the protector of Lebanon, which is Our Lady of Lebanon, and you'll be seeing that later on. We're sitting on the beach, and you see the parasailing. People are doing exactly what they do all over the world. Nothing has stopped the Lebanese from doing what they wanted to do. If you look in the background, you see the mountain tops, and you see how they are so overbuilt, because during the war, people emigrated from one side of the country to another. And they started building, where that mountain that you see in the background at one time or another was nothing, just a mountain. Now all of a sudden it is built with people and built with buildings. And what they do is they find an area and they put a building up there. And sometimes I worry and they say, is this building going to fall? But the ground is so rocky, it has so much rocks on it, it really holds the buildings. This is the beach. I told you about the beach, and look how beautiful. This was taken from my hotel room, right from the window of my hotel, and you can see the beach, and you can see people on the beach. You can see how far they have walked into the beach, and they are still standing, because the water is so calm and it is not deep. This is probably the best part of my trip. I told you a little earlier that I visited Lebanon 38 years ago, and I have not been there since. Going back, and we started taking this picture when I took all of the kids out to dinner. From the age of 19 to 36, there is about 34 of them. There are a few missing in this picture because they were all taking pictures anyway, but look how beautiful they are. Nice, beautiful, very, very respectful. All of them have good jobs, all of them have good education, and they work very, very hard to improve themselves and improve the country. And I love them dearly. It was such a great opportunity for me to be with them, to feel like them, to meet them, to understand them, to know their motivations. I had a great evening, great dinner with them. This is where we're sitting at the table, and look how long the table is extending. The table is extending all the way And if you see in the window, the beach is right below us. We were right there on top of the beach, enjoying ourselves for a real nice dinner. And dinner there begins what is called maza. Maza is, they bring in about 20 different kinds of small platters that have all kind of Lebanese food, including artichokes, including tabbouleh, kibbe, everything, and hummus, falafel, everything that you could think of. So they bring in all of the maza, they put all the maza, and then they sit down and they will be smoking their hookahs and drinking, especially the Lebanese anisette. Once that is done and is taken care of, after about 2.5 hours of eating maza, then they bring in the meat and they bring in all of the specialty foods. And after that, they bring in the dessert, and it's unbelievable how long they sit down and they eat. We started eating here about 9:30 at night. In Lebanon, if you go to have dinner at 8 p.m. or 6 p.m., you don't find anybody. Dinner does not begin until 9:30 to 10 p.m. and then they can sit there until 1 o'clock in the morning. It is unbelievable the love people have for each other and the fact that they want to be together. This is my niece Pascal, and I elected to keep, well actually she's not my brother's sister, my brother's daughter. She's my first cousin's daughter, but she's like my niece because my cousin is like my brother, and this is the kind of relationship that we have. This is the tie that I had on. It was my tie, and that tie has the American flag and the Lebanese flag. So she decided to wear it and put it on Facebook, and she received all kinds of beautiful comments on it on Facebook. Now we started driving to go up to our home in Maasir Shuf, up in the Shuf mountain, and look at the scenery here. If you look in and you see all of those valleys and the mountains, you see a valley where there are homes being built, and then you see another mountain behind it, and you see the pine trees and the scenery. Now these pictures were taken in July. Look how beautiful the sceneries are. This picture was taken July 15, I believe, and look how beautiful the scenery is. Look at the pine tree. These are pine trees that right on top of them you have the pines, and then the pines are like an acorns. They climb to the top of the tree, they bring down the acorns, and then they let them ripe, and then they take them to a place where the acorns get crushed, the shells get crushed by special machines, and then you have the pine nuts. And the pine nuts are not cheap. They are they sell them for about $30 a pound. It's unbelievable how expensive pine nuts are, and these are the pine nut trees. They are all over the place in Lebanon. And you see the scenery behind it, you see the mountains, and you see the town at the left, the bottom left, and the left of the photo. It's unbelievable how beautiful the sights are. And then every home, almost every home, you see the Lebanese flag. The Lebanese flag is very prominent because they are so proud of being Lebanese. So the Lebanese flag is always prominent, and with every home what you see is you see the pine trees or the apple trees, depending where you are, or you see the pears and you see the peaches, and later on as we go through you will see more of those pictures. But look how beautiful this home is, and this is a typical Lebanese home. They build the home, they build the wall, and of course you have your trees around the house. This is another home. As we were driving by, we just happened to see this house. It's like a villa, it's like a chalet. And again, right in front, you know, right to the street, right to the stone wall. It's a stone field. It's all stones. They don't build here with wood like we build in the United States. They all build with stones. And then, of course, they have the red bricks on the top because they keep the temperature low inside the house. They keep the home warm in the winter and then cool in the summer. And this is a character of Lebanon, where you have those red bricks right on top. And of course, you see the pine trees right attached to them and right next to the house. This is another view of the same home, where they continue to build the sidewalk and the wall, protecting the house and the entire property. You see that the property, all the way to the end of the property, you see the stone wall that has the same type of stones the stones that build the home. And again, you have the pine trees, and those pine trees are not only for scenery or anything, they are also to harvest the pines, and they are very, very expensive. This is another home where you could see the same type of construction, and then right on the front they have the faucet, they have the water, and they have the waterfalls. Almost every home has those kind of waterfalls. Driving up through the mountains, and you see the pine trees all over the place. They are very, very visible, and essentially what they do is they keep them, they save them, they harvest them, and quite honestly they make good money from the pine trees. We happen to be driving by. It's a small town on the way to our town of Maasr Shuf. This happened to be their city hall. Look at the Lebanese flag all over the place, and then you have the cobblestone walls, the cobblestone streets, and you have all of the homes are built from stones, not wood, and then you can see the texture of the wood in the doors of the home. And what they do is they have all of those three. You have the windows, and right in the middle you have those three big windows that bring in the lights into the home. These are the characters of their home. You see them, one big in the middle, and there is two small on the sides. The one that is in the middle will open up to the balcony, to what they call it the veranda, and then people will walk out to the veranda, and they will be sitting out on the veranda watching traffic and watching people for hours and hours. Still going by, look where this big home is built, right on top of a cliff. They just find a cliff, they figure a place to build a home, and they build a home. And the scenery is so beautiful, but yet I was so concerned and so worried because they are sticking homes all over the place. I mean, whenever you see a little piece of land, they put homes on it. And these are not small homes. They are several stories. And what they do is, because the family is so loving and so family oriented, so what happened is they built 4 or 5 stories, and every son or every daughter takes one story of the building or one portion of a floor, and then they have their home. So you have the entire family living in the same house, which is unbelievable, because they see each other every day. Every day they sit down, they have coffee in the morning, and you know what they do is they text each other. Come on down for coffee. They don't call on the phone. They sit down and they text each other, or they call each other on the cell phone and they say, come on down. They very, very rarely that they use the landline. It's always texting, or they have what is called net talk or Viber, which is through the internet, and they talk to each other that way. I took this picture from the window while the car was driving, just to show you the mountains and to show you how beautiful those mountains are. And you see the mountain, and all of a sudden you see a town. A town just pops up right on top of the mountain, which is really unbelievable. And getting to those mountains, getting to those towns is really very, I don't want to use the word treacherous, but to some extent it is, because the roads are very, very narrow, and then you look from both sides, and you don't see big guardrails preventing you from falling either way, but they know how to drive them, and they drive them every day, and God bless them for it. I cannot drive myself. So what happened to me is I had somebody, my nieces and nephews, driving us every day, because it was impossible for me to drive. And later on the program you will see their caption. I give them credit for driving, and I kind of like gave to each one of them I gave a little bit of a dialogue or monologue on their own driving. I want to show you this, and this is important. This picture and the one after it, those two pictures. I'll go back to this one, and allow me to explain to you what they are. They decided that they need better transportation system, so they joined two mountains together. This bridge is the highest bridge in the world. I think it goes up like 200 meters. 200 meters is like 700 feet. It's unbelievable how high this bridge is. But it joins two mountains together, and it goes from Lebanon, the Beirut area, going up into the mountain and going into the Bekaa Valley. This bridge is like, the highest bridge. and they spend billions of dollars to do this bridge. Well, what is the problem with this country that I see, with the country of Lebanon? What they do is they spend money like crazy on infrastructure of this magnitude, but yet there are so many essential things that they need to do that they don't do. Infrastructure like road repairs, road widening, things of this magnitude, they don't do, but when it comes into bridges of this magnitude, they just jump in and do them. There are many of those kind of infrastructure that has taken place in Lebanon over the past 20 years since the war has stopped. The thing about it is that they build those big conglomerates and they spend, you know, tons of money on them, but the small stuff they don't do. And I went under this bridge, and you look up and you say, gosh, how can a human being build this? But I guess a human being does build it because it is right there. We drove right underneath it. As a matter of fact, our car is just going right underneath it, almost underneath it as we were driving. Look in the forefront of the bridge by the tree, and you see that power line, that power tower. You see how short that tower is in compared to that bridge. It's unbelievable how high that bridge and how beautiful it is. I talked to you about their investment. They are industrialists. They love to make things. They love to plant. They love to spend money on preparing for the future. And this is a new like a new farm, apple farm. Look at the walls that they built for that apple farm. All of these are young apple trees. So what they did is they built all of those walls and put up all of those apple trees, and their irrigation system is not what we used to have irrigation system when I was young and I lived in the country. Our irrigation system, I used to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, divert the water into the canals and run like crazy and divert the water from one tree to another, one tree to another, one tree to another. And we used to make like a big pond around the trees where the water would come in and sit in there to put water on the roots of the tree. Here they have an irrigation system that is totally and completely automatic, and it is really unbelievable. One of the character of the country is their produce. As we were driving by, I took this picture. All of those are produce that are harvested that same morning. What they do is they go to their farm, they harvest their produce, they bring them in, and they put them right on the road. And you will see, people will be driving, and they see the apricots, and they see the pears, and the peaches, and they see all of those produce. So they stop by, and they buy them by the kilos, by the pound. So the farmer has in front of him the scale, they pick up what they want, and they're not bagged on anything. You see them, and then they just put them on the scale, and then they weigh them, and that's how they buy them. This photo in here is for the person who wrote the Lebanese national anthem. They put a shrine for him in a town called Beirut, which is really beautiful. Now we start getting into our town of Ma'asir el-Shuf. That's where I was born. These are some of the homes that are typical home of Ma'asir el-Shuf, and this is the entry to the town, where you see on top of the mountain is the TV station. The TV station that was there when I was there. As a matter of fact, a person who is really near and dear to me, I called him my brother-in-law, was the engineer for the TV station when I was there. And this is our home. Ma'asir el-Shuf was founded in 450, and then the distance to Beirut, as you see, 56 kilometer, which is probably about 30 miles, and the altitude is 1250 meter. You know how high that is, altitude 1250 meter? This is where I was born, in the small town of Ma'asir el-Shuf. This is our home. This is the home that my parents had. It was a home that was in the family for quite some time, and believe me, I look at it, it breaks my heart, but we move on with our life. This is my cousin's house, and that's where we spent the first day. We went up to the Ma'asir, and that's where we're having, you know, the lunch and everything, and all the family got together. Look how they put in the grapevines right over the home, and then that's how they get shades from the grapevine. I want to show you this. This is important to me. This used to be our TV. That was our television when I lived in Lebanon. The very first television I saw. God rest his soul, my father bought that TV and he brought it into our home, I would say probably back in 1967. And this is our first radio. It's still in the house. Our very first radio. And look, you can put in like a 45 in it, right on the upper right hand corner. You can put a disc and listen to a music. It's still covered. It's still covered and it's still sitting in the house. This is the entry to the house. This is the house that I showed you before. This is the main entryway, and this is the other side of the house where you enter to the other side. You have the window on the right. I used to sit behind that window and watch the snow falling. And this is the door. You go in. This is like the winter side of the house, and this is the entryway to the courtyard of every home. Every home has a courtyard, and the courtyard has usually a gate. And the gate opens and closes, and you notice the cars come right up through the street, right to almost to the courtyard. This is a mango tree, and I'm standing next to it. You know why I'm standing next to it? Because I planted that tree. I planted that tree before I immigrated to this country, and it has lots of mangoes on it every year, and it is so beautiful. Unfortunately, the mangoes were not ripe, so I could not eat anything. This is our church. Our church, look at the steeple, and I just want to show you something. It's a beautiful, beautiful church. It's called St. Michael's Church. And right in here, they asked for contributions to the church. This is the icon that our family contributed to the church. This is the church, standing with the priest, and we are Melkite Catholics, Greek Catholics, and these are the 12 disciples, and this is the entryway to the church, which is really very, very beautiful. There's a closer look to it, to the church. And this is me ringing the bell. I tell you, ringing the bell, we used to do it as children, try to ring the bell. I showed you the steeple before. I think I showed you the steeple before. I'll go back to it. And here it is, the steeple right there. And the bell is right on top of the steeple. And what happened is, when you push the bell with the rope, the bell rings. And when I was tiny, when I was little, it has such a strong power that I was young, and it pulled me up about 8 feet off the ground, and it would not bring me back. I remember, like yesterday, trying to get some older people to come grab me by the feet and bring me back down. This is the mountain from over at our village, and you could see how they are planting now cedar trees. Obviously the cedar trees are 5,000 years old, but now they are replanting and planting new cedar forest. I just want to show you some of the food. This is they love this. This is almond. What they do is they crush the almond, the green almond, and then you see the pit inside it. They take the pit out, and then they eat the pit. And this is the plate that has the almond in it. And the pit is right there, and then you can eat the almond green, which is really very, very delicious. And this is part of the family. When we were all getting together that morning, the morning that I came in, after we went to church, we went to the 11 o'clock mass, and then we came back and we had a picture of the whole family, and we had a real nice lunch right there on the terrace. Oh, I want to show you this. This is really important to me. When I was really young, and I hope you appreciate this, I must have been like 6 or 7 years old, living in the town. I used to go and find caps for Coca-Cola caps, Pepsi caps, beer caps, things like this, and I used to throw them right into that hole in there. I must have had hundreds of them. That wall is still standing, and that hole, you can still there see it, but there was no caps anymore in it. This is my cousin Hassan. It's his winery. And the Master Shuf, his winery is called St. Michael's Winery. And he produces his own wine from the grapes from the town. And it's really so beautiful to have, beautiful to see. We went in and we visited his winery. This is a picture of the town. You can see right in the middle, you can see the convent with the cross right on top of it, and then to the left of it is a church, and you can see the steeple. You see how beautiful the town is, and you can see at the same time how the red brick covers, you know, like the roofs, they keep the homes cold in the summertime and warm in the winter time, protect the homes. This house is my grandmother's house. It was not as it is now. It used to be a small house. You see you see where the ark is? That was the top of it. Right on the right corner of the house, you see the entrance, and that was the roof. It went all the way to the roof. And what happened is my cousin Tony bought the home and he added into it and he made it such a beautiful home. And you can see every home has the gate, has the wall in front of it, and he made it such a beautiful home. And then he added to it, obviously. This home, you see where it used to be, where the roof used to be, and it was dirt roof. And what happened is whenever it used to rain, it was a dirt roof. It used to rain, and then the water used to drip into the home. And my grandmother, God rest her soul, used to call us to come in and do this. This is what we used to do, and pull this big piece of rock and kind of like push it over the dirt so it will pack the dirt and it will stop leaking. I had an incident one time when I was pushing it and it went loose from me and it went off the roof, and my grandmother, God rest her soul, was not very happy with me back then. And this is me right in front of the town. You see how beautiful the sights are and how beautiful the mountains are. Oh, this I have to show you. This is a holy man. This is Druze. Druze is a sect of the Muslim sect. This guy is our neighbor. He's a holy man. I loved him dearly. I grew up right next to him. We grew up. His house is right next to our home, and he's a sheikh. He's like one of the holiest men. And I went in to say hello to him. I kissed his hand and I asked for his blessing. And right now, as I'm explaining and describing this to you, tears are coming to my eyes because he saw me, and obviously he has not seen me in 38 years. He cried and I hugged him, and I asked for his blessing, and I asked for his blessing upon my family. Now we go back to Jouni, down to where we're staying. Look at the Bay of Jouni and look at all of the mountains behind it and how it's all been overbuilt. And this is the Mediterranean Sea. This is the other side of the bay. Look how beautiful the sights are, and look how beautiful the beach is. This is probably from 800 feet high, and you can see how beautiful the water is. And then I take you in here to the west side of Beirut. The west side of Beirut, this is called the Raushi. It's right, those rocks are right on the cliffs, right in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. They are so beautiful. At one time or another, people who wanted to commit suicide, they used to come into the cliffs and throw themselves, not so much into the water, but there's so much rocks underneath them that they used to hit the rock and got killed instantly. But this is right in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, and you can see them. Boats go through it. You can see that boats go through and under the rock. And this is the cliffs. They are so beautiful. I kind of like waited to take those pictures until people moved out of the way. But they are very, very beautiful sights. This is a marina right in the same area. You can see how developed the area is, how civilized is the area. And this is right in the Mediterranean Sea. Buildings in Beirut. Right now, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal saying that the best industry right now is the construction business in Beirut. You will see cranes after cranes after cranes just building. I told you in the beginning of the program how I went downtown Beirut and I almost did not recognize downtown Beirut. Look how beautiful those buildings are, all kind of shapes. And the cranes are, sometimes you see 3-4 cranes moving at the same time in the same directions, because the building industry is so going like crazy. This is the Bay of Jouni, and right in the night time, it is very, very nice, very majestic. This picture was taken from an area called the Casino du Liban, which is the casino in Lebanon, in Jouni. Here it is, and look how beautiful the sights are at night. A typical beach on the Mediterranean Sea, and how beautiful it is and how calm the water is. Another scenery of the beach, and it shows now this is a rocky beach, but it shows how shallow the water is and how calm the water is. And again, you see the town of Jouni right behind it. This is a club. This is a pool, and the club in, and you see how large and big that pool is. Now I take you to Our Lady of Lebanon. From Jouni, from that side right there, you look up and you see Our Lady of Lebanon. It's called Harisa, and it is so beautiful and so high, overlooking, like it is protecting the city and protecting the country. This is the same statue from up above, looking down into the Bay of Jouni, and you can see the Bay of Jouni and how beautiful it is. And you know, here is the statue from the ground, here is the statue from above, looking down at the the Bay of Jouni, and here is the statue at night. It is so beautiful, so majestic, so nice. You look at it and you can't help but saying a prayer. This is going to Saint Charbel. Saint Charbel is a saint that lived in the mountains in Lebanon and died in the mountain of Lebanon. And this is the church that was built for Saint Charbel, right on top of the mountains. Very, very well visited. It is really beautiful to see. From here, you could see from Saint Charbel, from the top of the mountain, from up there, you can see how industrialist the Lebanese people are. All of these below are greenhouses. They diverted the Litani River from the Bekaa Valley to make greenhouses and irrigation system to plant their trees and their farms. All of those, look at all of those greenhouses that are all over, and all of them have irrigation systems that are automatic sprinkling systems, and they produce all kinds of things in there. And then you can look from all areas and you see them. You see how the greenhouses are, and they are scattered all over. And this picture is taken from top of the mountain, where you look down and you see how beautiful the scenery is, and you can see the mountains behind you, but yet in the valley you see the greenhouses. Here is another photo of the greenhouses, and then you can see right under the tree, right before you, the greenhouses, you see the reservoir, how they bring the water, they pump the water up into the reservoirs, getting it ready for the irrigation systems. Now we go to Saint Charbel. Saint Charbel is the saint for the Maronites, along with Saint Maron, and that's where he used to sleep. As a matter of fact, some people are saying this is the mattress that he slept at in this small little corner, and he slept at that mattress, they say, and he died, I believe, in the year 1700s. This is a small piece from his covers and from his bed. The scenery going out of Saint Charbel, you see how beautiful the roadsides are. Rebecca loved that tree, so she wanted to take a picture of it. I talked to you about their patriotism. Wherever you go, you see the Lebanese flags. The Lebanese flags are always flying. Wherever you go, you see the Lebanese flag. On electrical towers, you see them on homes, you see them on dump trucks. I'm going to show you later on how you can see the Lebanese flag on trucks. I'm a little out of sequence here, but this is the Church of Saint Charbel. And here I want to show you, as we were leaving Saint Charbel, another roadside stand where they are selling the olives. They sell all kinds of olives. They sell all of the products. They sell their anisette. They sell their juices, and they sell the water made from the roses and from the trees, and you mix it with when you cook, and it is really beautiful. But they sell them right on the side of the road. Look at this. These are onions and garlic that they harvest from their farms, and they put them in on a roadside. It's all fresh products harvested from the mountains. And look at this. You will not know what this is. Nobody is going to know what this is. But these are chickpeas. Chickpeas. So the chickpeas usually are on the ground. You pull them from the ground. You can see the roots, and you can see the chickpeas and the small, and the small kind of like caves in them. You open them up, and you eat the chickpeas. These are green peas, and they sell them like this, and they sell them on the roadside. These are produced up at their farms too. So you will see that many farmers are self-sufficient, and they don't need anything from the outside. They don't need anything. They're just self-sufficient. We went from there to another place called Saint Rafka, and she is a saint, and this was her convent, and there are priests and nuns who obviously live in separate quarters, and they live there and they preach and they pray right on top of a mountain. This is an elevation of about 1,250 meters from the sea level, and from this side you can see how beautiful the mountains are and how beautiful the sights are. This is where Saint Rafka is buried. That's where her body is in the tomb. Look at this, the Lebanese flag, and what they do is they superimpose the picture of Saint Rafka and the Lebanese flag, and then they hang the Lebanese flag on the pine tree. Now we are entering Charbel. Charbel is a fortress that was built about 8,000 years ago. It is on the east side of Lebanon, toward the northeast of Lebanon, right on the Mediterranean Sea. And Charbel is a town that was very strategic, and what happened is essentially they wanted to invade it. So they built this fort to protect, and they built the walls to protect the town from the invaders. And you can see from here on top of Charbel, you can see the water, and you can see right in front the ruins where they used to stand. They used to fight from the ocean, from the water, and then if they get defeated and they have to retrieve, they retrieve into the castle. And you can see from here, top of the castle, how all of those ruins, and that home is still standing. I'm sure that home is not 8,000 years old, but that home was built in, and then it's still sitting right on top of the water, overlooking the water. And this is Charbel itself. This is basically the fort. And then right here, as you see right in the middle of the picture, you see the moat. So when they retreated, they filled the moat with water, they pulled up the drawbridge, and they are in the fort protecting the town. And all of these used to be walls that are going all the way into the town to protect the town. Now look how big the town is. Oh, took a picture of this to show you the price of gasoline. This is by the liter, and if you translate it, it's about $4 a gallon. So it's basically the same thing that we have. Now I take you to Chateau Ksara. Chateau Ksara is a beautiful chateau where they produce wine, all kinds of Lebanese wine. Look at the caves where the wines are in wooden barrels, and it is really very beautiful to see, very nice sight to see. This is in the Bekaa Valley. It is said that the Bekaa Valley is one of the most fertile land in the entire world. Now we go to the Bekaa Valley, to Zahli, and this is the statue of the Virgin Mary, very high overlooking Zahli. This picture of Zahli was taken from the top of the statue of the Virgin Mary. Zahli is a town right in the Bekaa Valley, and if you look at the mountain, right behind the mountains, right, is Syria. So Lebanon is situated where from the east and the north is bordered by Syria. From the west, it's bordered by the Mediterranean Sea, and from the south, it is bordered by what we call Israel, the state of Israel, but it's still in the Middle East. They still don't call it Israel, they call it Palestine. So that's how Lebanon is. North and east from Syria, west the Mediterranean Sea, and into the south is Israel, Palestine. These are typical homes in Zahli, and you can see the Bekaa Valley behind it. You can see how fertile the ground is. It is agricultural land. And this is the statue of the Virgin Mother overlooking Zahli. This is the icon inside the church for the Virgin Mary, and this is the statue itself right on top of the town. I just want to tell you about the belief and the traditions that they have. Wherever you go in Lebanon, they believe in the Virgin Mary, they believe in the Mother of God, and they love to build statues of her. This happens to be a small statue light stuck in the corner of a doorway to a home. So wherever you go, you see a small shrine of this magnitude made for the Virgin Mother of God. I mean, it is unbelievable how they believe in Mary, and they believe in her ability to help people and to support people and take care of people. So wherever you go, you will find a small statue stuck in a wall and small shrine of the Mother Virgin. Now we move on to Baalbek. Baalbek is known as the city of the sun, and Baalbek is a very, very old town. It was invaded by everybody and his brother, the Romans, the Byzantine, the Cleopatra, the Arabs. It's all over, and the ruins of Baalbek are one of the most famous in the entire world. At the entrance to Baalbek, this is a mosque. What a beautiful mosque that is! Look at the work, the artwork of that mosque. It is so gorgeous and it is so beautiful. I could not help but stop and take a picture of it. And you know, I mean, to me a shrine is a shrine, whether it is Christian, Muslim, or whatever the case might be. It is it is a house for prayer, and it's very unbelievable that I stood there, I listened to their prayers, and their prayers are so beautiful. Now we start entering Baalbek. Baalbek, you know, they give you a history of it, and they say how it was built in the 2700 BC, but who knows? There's a camel, the only camel that we saw in Lebanon, and what they do is they have the camel just to give you rides in here and to take money for it. That's about it. It's not a working camel or anything. And then these are the staircases leading to Baalbek. Look at the work. I mean, those staircases were made 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, and look at them and how they are still standing. Do you know that they hold festivals in Baalbek, and they have an area that will hold about 10,000 seats. They put 10,000 seats and they have the festivals there. Look how big those columns are, and then you'll be seeing, as you're going through, more beautiful columns that are either Byzantine influence, Roman influence, Arab influence, you know, Cleopatra influence. Everybody visited and everybody built on top of things in Baalbek. Look at this temple. This is part of the temple of Jupiter, and they say there's a temple of Jupiter and a temple of Venus. Look at all of this artwork that is made. Baalbek is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it is overlooking the entire Bekaa Valley and protecting the entire Bekaa Valley. It is not on the beach. It's in the interior side of the country, and they say that Baalbek was not impacted by wars. It was impacted by earthquakes. They say that it was hit by 6 earthquakes. Look at this picture. Now, this is a 90-degree temperature that we are in right now. It's very, very warm, and it's in Baalbek. And look at the mountain behind you. What do you see on top of the mountain? Snow. Look at the white on top of the mountain. You will see snow, even though we are in 90-degree temperature. Behind those mountains is Syria. You see the snow? Now, here, that's where they used to stand to defend the castle, and they used to shoot with a bow and arrow. So it is like an opening. As it closes in, they will be able to shoot to the outside, but they cannot be hit from the outside because it's narrow from the outside. Look at all of the writings and the calligraphy right on those stones that are in Baalbek. This is the temple of Venus. It is a beautiful, beautiful temple. Look at the artwork that is in the temple. Who can build something like this 5,000, 6,000 years ago? And this, I am sure everybody in the world have seen a picture of this. These are the columns that are still standing in Baalbek. They are impeccable, they are majestic, they are so beautiful. Look at me. I am standing in front of them. I look so minuscule next to those beautiful columns in Baalbek. We're standing next to them, and look how big they are. Look how majestic they are. Do you know that inside those columns they were injected by metal to keep them strong? They say that they put copper and brass and metal inside them. How did they get the metal inside the columns? Nobody knows. This picture I took, and it is really funny. I asked my nephew. This is a picture where when they used to defend the castle ages ago, they used to communicate to each other by the iPhone and BlackBerry. That's how they communicate in Lebanon. Every person has an iPhone and a BlackBerry. I can't understand why do they need two, but they do. They have iPhones and BlackBerry. And so I had him talk in his BlackBerry and iPhone at the same time, right next to the columns. The other side of the Temple of Jupiter, how beautiful that temple is. Now I want to show you how they used to drill into the columns to put in the metal, to keep the columns strong and don't fall by earthquakes or wars. Oh, this is so beautiful. Look at this. Right in the forefront of the picture, you can see how they used to collect water into a gutter. Look, the gutters. The gutters are made of stone, and then the water falls through the mouth of the lion. If you look closely, you will see the mouth of the lion, to the side, and you can see also how they used to collect water. And you see that triangle right on the side of the stone. They used to connect those stones to each other by those triangles. How did they do it? Nobody knows. Some of the columns, other columns, and this is the same column standing here. I stood under the column and took a picture of the top of it. Look how majestic it is. Show it to you again. These are the columns, and then I stood right in between those columns and took a picture of the top. And these are still standing, and they are more than 5,000 years old. This is inside the temple. And this is unbelievable. This is outside Baalbek. This is the biggest standing stone in the world. It's 22 meters, 1,200 tons. It's one piece of stone. And look how they put the Lebanese flag on top of it. It is a stone that supposedly were brought from Egypt, being pushed in on ropes and cedar logs. They wanted to put it in as part of the pyramid in Baalbek, but the guy told us that unfortunately the reign of the pharaoh ended, and they ended up not doing anything with it. It just sits there. It's 22 meters long, 1,200 tons. It is known to be the biggest single stone in the world. Now I take you to Chateau Kafraya, which is a beautiful, beautiful winery. They have wonderful wines. Look inside. Look inside. The tour guide is giving us a tour. Look at all of those containers that carry the wine as it produces and go through the process. Look at all of them. How many of them? And this is Chateau Kafraya. This is their barrels. And that's how they put in the wine in the barrels. Look at all of the barrels in Chateau Kafraya. And all of this is wines that gets there to be put in, to be aged, and then to be bottled and sold. As we were driving out of Kafraya, I saw this field. I wanted to stop and take a picture. This is from the car. Look at the corns. The corns are right there, adjacent, right to the road, and the corn is about to ripe. Do you remember I said something to you about their patriotism? Look at this. This is just a construction truck, and they carry products in it. Look, the cedar tree and the Lebanese flag is all over the back of the truck. This is their patriotism, and this is how much they love their country and they love each other. Diet chocolate. I mean, the country is so civilized, they have everything. My daughter wanted to take a picture of the diet chocolate. And in Lebanon, one industry that is flourishing is those people who make the signs. They make signs for everything. They make signs to support you, they make signs to hate you, they make signs to tell you which side of the political process they are on, and then they put up those signs between the buildings. These are made from textile from material. They make the signs, they put them up. A few days later, they take them down, and more signs get put up. And I bet you people are making a lot of money with this. This is a road going into Kufraya, coming out of Kufraya. As a matter of fact, look how beautiful those trees are on the side of the road. I wanted to show you this picture because here in Connecticut and the United States, we're fighting the windmills, and we're saying, you know, that's not an alternate source of energy. And I'm sure you know what happened in Connecticut this year, and so far we want them, we don't want them. They're already there. And this is a specific windmill only for this one house. This one house put up a windmill and to create a source of energy for this one house right there. So I took a picture of the house. Now I take you to Jaita. Jaita, the grotto of Jaita is one of the wonders of the world. You go into the mountain and you walk inside the mountain for miles. I'll say no, for a mile. And you can see it. It is so beautiful. Water drips through and it calcinates, and then it makes all kinds of shapes and forms. And it is so beautiful inside. When you are going into Jaita, there are no pictures to be taken, there are no cell phones, and they ask you to be quiet so that you do not disturb all of those beautiful sights in Jaita. Now, these are not pictures that I took. These are pictures that I got from the internet of taking in Jaita. But Jaita is very beautiful. It is in the mountains, and you go through it, and you have to. You say there is God. You have to praise God and praise the Lord, because you say something of this magnitude cannot be made by a human hand. It is God's creations, and you can hear the water dripping. You go in that boat, and the boat has to be pushed by hand because they don't want any noise there. You put your hand in the water, and the water is so freezing. It is really gorgeous. Jaita is a thing to see when you visit Lebanon. This is my wife's grandfather's home in the Shuf mountain. It is unbelievable home right on top of the mountain. Linda loved to see this house every time when I took her back in 1974, and this is her grandfather's house, and it's still standing. It's a beautiful home right on top of the hill overlooking the entire valley. Now I take you to the cedars. Oh, the cedars in my hometown of Maasir El Shuf. Maasir Shuf is very famous for its cedar, so we go to the cedar to see the cedar trees. The cedar trees are impeccable. Look at this. I took a picture of these cedar trees, and the town is right below them. The cedar trees are the signature of Lebanon and the sign of Lebanon and the life of Lebanon. They are so beautiful. I spent so many nights in my childhood up here camping right on those very same places where you are looking at now. We used to go up as kids, and we used to camp in and spend nights there. We used to have a great time. Look at the cedar trees and how beautiful they are, how majestic they are. Look at the acorns of the cedar trees. And they are so great, so beautiful, so gorgeous. Lebanon is known for cedars. The only place in the world where you have cedars of this magnitude, of this majestic, is in Lebanon. Look how beautiful the cedars are. I peeked right into this tree, and I took this picture just to show the acorns, how beautiful they are on top of the tree. Look at this. This is the biggest tree in the world. 18 people joined arms to be able to hug this tree. It is more than 5,000 years old, and look how my daughter is standing right next to it, and look how small my daughter looks. It's an unbelievable tree. If you don't see it, you do not appreciate its majestic beauty. It is really unbelievable to see. One time, 18 people, 18 men, joined hands and stretched their arms in order for them to wrap their arms around this tree. It took 18 people to wrap around the tree in the circumference. This is the bottom of the tree, and I took this picture of the town, of our town, from the tree. I zoomed into the town, and you can see the cedars, and you can see the town right on the bottom of the hill. This house is in the Maasir, right in my hometown. From our home, you can look across at it. And you know what happened in this house? The country of Italy decided to come back and renovate it. So Italy put money into renovating this home to make it like a shrine for their people to come and visit. So the Italians, when they come to Lebanon, they come in and they visit this home. And they love their hookah. This is my cousin. They sit down and they smoke their hookah. Hookah in Lebanon is a natural treasure. They love their hookah. They can sit down, and they sit down on the terrace, and they sit down and they smoke their hookah. Hookah is very, very important to the Lebanese people, and they love it. They smoke it. They cannot have dinner without their hookah. Hookah is very, very important to them. Now I take you to where I went to school. From 1960 to 1966, I went to school at a place in the south called Deir Mkhallis, which is Saint-Sauveur in French. And here I sat. This is similar to well, actually, it was from my time. That's where we used to sit. And we used to sit on those kind of benches. And this is the entryway coming into the school. It was a boarding school. And here I sat. And obviously this bench happened to be out in the hallway, so I sat in it and we took the picture. See this? This where I used to wash my face. It was like on the outside when we used to go play. When I was 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, we used to wash our faces and wash our hands. It's still the same thing. And right here, the sinks are the same sinks where we used to wash our hands, and behind us were the shower facilities where we used to take our showers when I was in boarding school. This is the church of the same it was a seminary, but it was a boarding school and a seminary at the same time. So I was part of the boarding school. I was not there learning to be a priest or training to be a priest. I was in the seminary. It was a boarding school. Look how beautiful this church is. We visited this church. We had a great time. We had a great time in that church. These are the cable cars. The cable cars go from the beach all the way to the top of the mountain to Our Lady of Lebanon. It goes to an altitude of about 900 meters, just shooting right up. We are a little out of sequence, but that's okay. This is we're back to. This is a priest who is going to become he's going to be canonized in the sainthood, Father Bshara Abu Murad, and we took a picture and prayed on his grave. That's where he is buried. He's buried right here in this church. Actually, right there in this church, he's buried. This is the church that we used to do everyday church, and this used to be the Sunday church. Mass there would used to last 2.5 to 3 hours. It was too long for me, but we endured it. And this is the church where every day before dinner we used to go to this church and pray, and then we go out to have dinner. Not out to have dinner, we go to the dinner hall to have dinner. And this is the steeple of the church. At night, when I used to sleep there, it used to ring on the 15 minutes, 1 ring, on the 30 minutes, 2 ring, on the 45 minutes, 3 rings, and on the hour it rings 4 rings, and then it gets followed by how many, by the time, like for 2 o'clock in the morning it goes dong dong. For 4 o'clock in the morning it goes 4 times. The steeple is there, it is so beautiful. Oh, I wanted to show you the civilization. These are my cousins, my nephews, 4 people sitting at a table. I love them dearly. The 4 of them are texting, and they are on their iPhones, or they are on their BlackBerry. And the cable car, they're going up to the cable car I showed you before. And this is a Sidon. Sidon is in the south. Unfortunately, we were unable to go to Sidon just because of the time limitation, but Rebecca took a picture of this. Again, this is a castle that used to protect the town of Sidon from invaders. And this is from the Roman times. This is about 5,000 years old. It's still standing the same way. And then we come back to ready to leave. We are at the airport, and we are here in the Middle East Airlines getting ready to leave our country of Lebanon to come back to our country of the United States of America. And one thing I tell you is how life goes on, how life is continuing, and life is just keeps going. You know, sometimes life is not fair, but life goes on. My nephews and my nieces dropped me off at the airport. I hugged them, they hugged me, they cried, I cried. My heart was broken, yet I got on the aircraft and I flew back to America. I went on to do my own life and to conduct my life. They got in their car and they drove and they went on to conduct their lives. You know, what can I say? I mean, being there was a joy, was a pleasure, was an opportunity that was an unbelievable opportunity. It just broke my heart to leave them. I just got so attached to those kids that I had never met before. But I got to know them, I got to spend time with them, we got to travel with them, they drove me all around wherever I wanted to go. I got so attached to them, and that broke my heart to leave them. But you know, that's what life is all about. Life goes on. You know, we choose our path in life, and we go on with our life. We miss the people we love, but we look forward to the future. There's always hope in the future, and I guess our lives will be totally empty if we don't have hope. So, you know, this is our story, and I will make, you know, the final comments about my trip, and then I will give credits to those who helped me and those people that I love and I thanked. Now that you have seen this program, I don't know how you felt about it. When I was preparing it, I felt a great deal of emotions. I tell you about the country. There are lots of positives and there are lots of negatives to Lebanon. Some of the positives that I loved is the value of the family. The value is second to none. People love each other, people cherish each other, people talk to each other, people see each other, people are always in contact with each other. And they love to be together as a family. And that is very important to them. The values are very important to the Lebanese people. Their history is very important to them. Their tradition is very important to them. Their history goes back 8,000–9,000 years from the time of the Phoenicians and before. Because we Lebanese are descendants of the Phoenicians and at the same time descendants of the Arabs, because Lebanon was and still is a melting pot where everybody invaded and everybody came and everybody participated and everybody wanted to become Lebanese, because the strategic position of the country to the rest of the world, it is from where the Phoenicians have launched their ships to go and trade. It is where people now still enjoy themselves and have a great time despite some of the problems they encounter. They are so patriotic. They love the country. They enjoy the country and they cherish the country. The political atmosphere in Lebanon is stable now. It's not the way it used to be 15–20 years ago. 15–20 years ago there was war. And as a matter of fact, when I was walking through downtown, I did not recognize many of the sites that were there before I left, because during the war they were really bombarded and torn apart, but they were rebuilt so beautifully. As a matter of fact, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal to say that the best industry in the world is the construction industry and the construction business in Beirut, because it is flourishing so much. The country is very beautiful. The sites are unbelievable. I mean, you cannot find any sites better. And I'm glad that you happen to see them and see this program to be able to see those sites. Well, you know, the problem is traffic. There bad traffic problem in Lebanon. You cannot drive there. I cannot drive there. As you will see on the credit, I had a few of my nephews and nieces help me to drive to take me places where I wanted to go. Traffic is very, very bad. That's a negative in the country. The power grid is very weak. They lose power constantly, day in and day out. They lose power. And what happens is they rely on generators. The power goes out, the generator kicks in, even in the hotels. These are situations that must be corrected if the country has to move forward. And that is very important, to get that taken care of. There are some industrialists who have their own generators, and what they do is they sell power to like a section of a town. So what they do is they go and they have the generator, they distribute power, and then the homeowners will have to negotiate with them how long that they keep the power and when they can cut it off. It's a situation that needs to be taken care of. So if I'm to summarize two things that I saw to be probably a burden on Lebanon are the traffic problems and the power grid. Besides that, everything is beautiful. Rebecca and I had a great time. We truly, truly enjoyed our visit. I talked to my wife over the phone, and I said to her, I did not realize how wealthy I am. Because wealth is not what is in your pocket. Wealth is what is in your heart and the people who are around you and the people who love you. Remember, I said that last time I visited Lebanon was 38 years ago. And there is about 36 kids who were born in the meantime. 36 kids between the ages of 19 and 36. All of them are nieces and nephews. And even because I don't have brothers or sisters living there, but I have first cousins living there and aunts and uncles living there, and these are their kids. Their kids who are like my nephews and my nieces, and I had a great time with them. So it was an opportunity of a lifetime. I am glad I'm sharing it with you, and I am glad that I had an opportunity to do it, and Lord willing, I will do it again. God bless you all, and till I meet you again, I'm Selim Noujaim. I cherish my country, the American flag, the flag of the state of Connecticut, and of course, cherish the Lebanese flag because that's where I was born. Thank you, and God bless you.
بفقرك بحبك وبعزك بحبك أنا قلبي عقيدي لا ينساني قلبك، والسهرة عبابك أغلى من سني، وبحبك يا لبنان يا وطن، بحبك يا لبنان.